Hi everyone from Iceland. I am here and this is the midnight sun, so you can see behind me. I'm going to give you a little view right here. The sun is trying to set at midnight, but it's not quite setting. You can see it here, but it will not set. We'll have sun the entire nighttime. So welcome in for our meditation. We're here for a 20-minute meditation, Icelandic style. We're going to talk about the land of fire and ice. Iceland is called the land of fire and ice because of the snow and then the volcanic activity. And we're going to talk about fire and ice in your life and how to apply that. So let's get comfortable. Come to a comfortable seat. Wiggle around, and you can see I'm not wearing a coat, so it's still like 60 some degrees out here. So not that as cold as what people say that it is. Wiggle on down and get comfortable. We're going to start to ground into our space, taking a deep breath in through the nose and a long, slow exhale out. Another deep breath in and a long, slow exhale out. One more deep breath in and a long, slow exhale. And imagine yourself grounding into your space, allowing the sits bones to be heavy. Take a breath. Like I said, we're working on the fire and ice. The land of fire and ice is Iceland. What brings fire to your life? What is your passion? What is your creativity? What makes your soul feel its purpose? And the ice, what are the challenges in your life? What brings you struggle and challenge in your life? I mean, ice can be destructive, but also ice can be like cooling, soothing. Let's find some of that in our life, okay? So as we ground into our space, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Let's talk about that fire, that volcanic things in your life. What brings you that fire? What is your passion, your creativity? And we're going to start to think about that, grounding into your space. What are ways that we can take more attention to those things that create fire in our life? And just as we know, too much fire can also be destructive. As we focus in on the fire elements, we think about those passions, the things that create and drive us. And as we start this week, set an intention to focus on that. Focus on creative elements. And I want you just to think of a couple things. Jot them down in your mind. What is something that you want to focus on that could bring more fire to your life? Where should you focus your attention at? Take a couple more breaths. Setting that list, that intention. And I want you to imagine that fire energy around you, starting from the top of your head, going down your shoulders, your arms, your upper body, your lower body, all the way to the feet. Imagine this fiery aura gently surrounding you, knowing that whenever we need a little bit of push for that fire element, we can create it. Engulfing ourselves with our fire aura. and setting an intention to focus on some of those things this week. Take a couple more breaths. And let's shift our focus to our ice element. Ice is things that hold us back or stall us, freeze us out from intentions that we want to create. So start to kind of focus on those icy elements in your life. What are hurdles or things that maybe are difficult, challenges in your life? Focus on them. Know things that you can change and you cannot change. And even though they're challenging, it creates balance. So while we're focusing on our challenge elements, know that they're all not negative, right? We have to have balance in our life. So what are things that are challenging that maybe we can work on this week? Or maybe things that, we just don't need to give as much attention to. Seal that intention. Focus on that for just a couple more breaths. We're going to jot those things down in our mind. And what makes you feel icy? What makes you feel stuck? Is it yourself? Is it someone else? Know that even if you feel that it's someone else, it still is you. There's still an element of you that keeps you stuck. One last couple breaths. Focus on what things can you work on those icy elements this week. And then let's start to think of that ice aura, that blue and white hue, softly going from the top of the head to the shoulders, down the arms and the back, going around the lower back, the hips and the legs, all the way to the feet. Imagining that icy aura as you pause for a couple breaths. Thinking of it as like a little icy shield. We don't have to allow those icy elements to affect us all the time. We give them control in our life. Know that we can just not give it attention if we choose. Knowing that we can create this icy aura around us to shield us from those elements anytime we choose. In this last section, We're going to bring our fire and our ice together, just like Iceland. Two pieces that come together, the volcano and the glaciers that came together to create Iceland, and that perfect balance that it made once it came together. And I want you to imagine your fire and your ice together. That passion and those challenges, those struggles with creativity. And just know that's what creates you. Just like it created this land that I'm in, those challenges, that fire and ice creates you. So even if it's a difficult time or you feel like life isn't fair to you, it created you. That's what made you you. So think about those elements. Know that even if it was difficult and that's not what you wanted, it created you. Take a couple breaths. Think about that balance of fire and ice. When you bring the fire and ice together, it creates that perfect temperature. The ice melts, the fire starts to singe away, and it creates water. That's emotions. Those things that we hold deep inside. So we're gonna melt our ice with our fire and thinking of the water element. In tarot, we call those emotions. And that's what creates you, your feelings, your emotions. Without your fire and your ice, you wouldn't be you. Take a couple more breaths and let that kind of resonate. Knowing the challenges, the struggles, the drive and the passion all have to come together to create that perfect mix. I want you to set an intention this week to balance that out, to remind yourself that fire and ice create balance and beauty, and you. And sit in those emotions for just a couple more breaths, allowing yourself some compassion as you balance your fire and ice. Knowing that it's okay for sometimes to feel a little too fiery and sometimes to feel a little too icy. It doesn't have to be the perfect balance all the time. We're just striving to create that balance. We don't have to have perfection. And as I look around this beautiful country, I can tell you the spaces that had too much fire had beautiful lava rock and the Blue Lagoon, and the spaces that had too much ice created these beautiful mountains and valleys that led straight out to the ocean. And then you have some that's right in between. So know that it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. I've seen a lot of different things here that are just as beautiful, even if it wasn't in perfect conditions. So just take a couple more breaths, allowing yourself to sink into that balance. And then we're going to start to think of a fire and ice aura. We're going to bring that fiery element and icy element into one. So as we think of that, we're going to think of a red and blue aura, starting at the top of the head, going down to the shoulders, down the arms and the back, the lower back, the legs all the way to the feet, surrounding yourself in a blue-red aura, feeling the balance of fire and ice as you take a couple breaths. And just notice how you feel, feeling that complete balance, knowing that even if life is frustrating or imperfect, It doesn't matter. You can find balance within yourself. As we settle in with this last couple breaths, I want you to set an intention to find some kind of balance in your life, even if it's not perfect. Take a couple breaths, find your fire and ice, and start to bring some awareness back into your body. And I thank you so much for tuning in with me from this beautiful Reykjavik, Iceland. I thank you so much, and I'm going to show you the sunset one more time. So come with me. It's still not setting, and it is after midnight. So come with me as I say goodbye. And I'll show you. Look, we saw the sunset, and sunset's gone, and we still have light. So thank you so much for tuning in. You can check out my Airbnb. Here's a little peek back here. It's got like a nice little mural. And let's go take a check, okay? I'm gonna turn it around. And we're gonna take a little peek. So there it is. It's got a beautiful little mural of the sunset. And these flowers only bloom in the spring and summer, and we're gonna see those. So check for some of those pictures. They're very popular here. And this is when they actually do have a sunset. I won't see that here right now. Like I said, we have just light the whole time, but I will see some of those flowers. So look for some of those photos coming up soon. And thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great week. I'll see you when I get back. Thank you.